Hello YouTube! I know some of you have been checking out this. I saw 62 views on my first video and that was really nice. I didn't think I'd even get 5. So anyway, today is a video not on breakdancing or yo-yoing, it's on mentalism. Now what is a mentalist, you may be asking? A mentalist is a person, I'm going to keep the camera in one spot so it's not always moving around if it stayed in one spot. A mentalism is a person, is a person who can memorize a vast amount of things using various techniques, and they can hypnotize people, they can manipulate people because they're high above the social hierarchy, and they can read body language. Now the two main things is read body language and memorize great detail. The other things come with how you utilize it, like how you utilize math concept to answer different problems. If you know 3 plus 2, you only memorize 3 plus 2, and then the teacher asks you what's 2 plus 3, you're totally lost because you didn't understand the actual concept of that math problem. It's the same thing, you have to know when to apply it. So, today I'm going to be talking about a memory tip. There are several ways to memorize things in mentalism, but this is only one. So, this is called, well, I call it Memory Hall. And what you're doing is, actually I'll talk about two. One that I kind of came up with myself that helps me a lot with memorizing definitions. The other one is a real mentalism tip. So what you do is, let's say you have a list of words and you want to memorize them. So like a list of definitions. So what you do is you take one of the definitions and you turn it into a person. So for like biology, I had to memorize several words, and one of them was glucose. And my example was that we take in and convert take in oxygen, and we convert it using energy and expel carbon dioxide, and we use that energy in our bodies. And the way I remember that was I thought of some big fat guy just taking in, eating something, and that thing would be called glucose and oxygen. And he just expelled carbon dioxide and used the energy, taking everything up. So I just turned into a person, and I gave him, the name was metabolism, because that's what it is. That's what it is. And that's just a tip. So like, it's mostly used for people. It's what I use for everyone in my life. I take their name and I just think, like, when I think of that name, I think of what that person does, what sports they do, what activities they do, what kind of grades they get, what kind of person they are overall. And, when I want to kind of like when you're in a conversation with people and you're talking about a person, I kind of just think I'm in this kind of hall with that person. So the memory hall technique is you're thinking that you're going into a event or something, a dance or whatever, and there's all these people and all those people and you go up to them, you talk to them, and you say, oh, hey, you're this person that does this, this, and this, you're on the hockey team, blah, 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 let's give a name, okay, this is Brandon. Brandon's on the hockey team, he hangs a lot with all his hockey buddies, he does average in school, and so you'd walk up and you think of Brandon, and let's say like you were in a conversation and everyone's talking about Brandon, then you'd bring that information up. You probably do this subconsciously in your everyday life too, and you can apply this concept to studying and all that. So that's just one tip, and then the other tip is life association, which I think, in my opinion, is a lot easier than the other one. So this is something mostly used for definitions. You take a word and you associate it to something in your life if you want to remember it. This really helps with like memorizing stuff, because it's something that connects to you. If it's not connecting to you, if there's a book, history book, right? Something about, the old founding fathers and all that, it's boring because it doesn't associate to you. You find no relation to it. But if it's a good book, like let's say Harry Potter, because so many people like it, I myself am a Percy Jackson fan, but let's just say Harry Potter, people like it because it associates to fantasy. It some of the characters these situations may associate to their own life, and so they find that interesting. It's the same thing. You have to take the word and use it in a sentence that associates to your own life. So let's take the word apathy. Apathy means devoid of all feeling, no feeling at all. And so I take Red from the Blacklist for any of you that have watched it. He's apathetic when he kills off people. And I love that show. Even though, for those of you that don't know it, it sounds quite bad. It's not. He's actually on the good guy's side. It's complicated. But that's how I would take the word, and I would use it for my own benefit to remember it. So when the word apathy comes up, I say, oh, okay, that's what it means. And the word diffident means to be hopelessly unhappy. No, that's deplored. Sorry. Diffident means moral corruption. And so, diffident, I think of, some bad guy from my childhood TV shows. Let's say, I don't know, it's a TV show that was Justice League when you were smaller. The bad guy was the other people that fought all the superheroes. No, let's take Spider-Man and Venom. Venom's the bad guy, and so I'd say Venom is diffident, being corrupted by the symbiote. A little nerdy, I know, but it's just a reference to how you'd remember the word. And once you start using this, you'd be surprised how easy it is to memorize. I don't know if you, for those of you that don't go to my school, know the little red vocabulary books. And we have a 20-word quiz every once in a while. And I don't even study for those. I mean, some people don't. Most people don't. But, right before the test, I'll look over the words, and we look over them in class, and I'll just associate them to my life. And right before the test, I'll take each one, and I'll say, okay, this is how I connect it to my life. This is how I connect this one to my life. And I'll end up remembering all 20 right before the test, and I'll get 190, 95 on all those tests. So it does really help, but it's mostly only for definitions. You can apply it to something like a math concept, but in that case, you can't apply this under the math concept. That's the other one I was talking about. That's the first one, which was the memory hall. This one is only pretty much for definitions. But memory hall you can apply to math. You can say, let's say you had a concept, you think of some mathematician I don't know, or scientist, the guy that's smart like Albert Einstein. And you think, okay, Albert's description is the concept that you're trying to remember in math. And everything he does is built around that concept. So let's say you had a problem you didn't know how to solve. That's what Einstein does, is he'd solve the problem, and then you'd see the teacher solve the problem, and then you visualize Einstein in your head doing it. That way you have a visual vision of what is happening. You don't vision, like when the teacher's writing, you just see the writing. But when you actually picture someone doing it in your head, you kind of see step by step, oh, that's what he's actually doing. I wasn't paying attention in class, but now that I'm thinking about it myself, it's clear. And so that's all I'm really going to talk about. It's a lot to digest, and I didn't really explain everything that well because I just felt like doing the spur of the moment. But if anyone wants me to explain anything deeper, or if you actually got interested in something I said, then just post a comment. And if you're on Facebook, put a post on Facebook, message me, because I won't check my comments that often because I don't think I'll get any. So that's it. Goodbye. I heard that. Shout out to Pratik for checking out my channel. It's really nice of you to say that and tell me, because then I know. And Prabin Tamang too. So that's it, guys. Goodbye. Have a good day, and use these tips. And I'm actually searched up some more real tips that I'm not going to tell you because you guys will look it up. But I'll try to explain it once I get it. That's it. Goodbye. See you later. Blah. Oh, you might be wondering why. Well, if he doesn't want to teach it, if he doesn't want me to look it up, then why is he teaching it? I may teach it. I may not teach it. It may be extremely, extremely useful, and I just want to know it. May be semi useful, and I will want to explain it. So that's it. Goodbye. See you.